Hey guys, we released a short video yesterday about a tradesman's shop that had some really good blades in it, some chisels and planes and really good quality Japanese blades. And unexpectedly it resulted in all sorts of comments and questions from different people regarding Kamikoto knives. So one guy on YouTube sort of said, oh, it's good you're not getting on that selling those dodgy knives bandwagon, and someone else that on Patreon asked about what we thought about the Kamikoto knives, and never heard of them, to be honest. Never heard of them, and so prompted by those questions, I went and had a look at the website, the Kamikoto knives website, and on the surface it could convince a person that they're amazing Japanese knives, traditional style Japanese knives made in Japan that are really amazing and, you know, best knives in the world sort of thing. So when you look at their website, Japan, Japanese is repeated again and again throughout their blurb. Authentic Japanese knives, lots of words like that are used. And it's not until you really start to get into it and to read the small print and to look at exactly what they're selling and find out that in actual fact their knives are made in China, and the company that's marketing them is just a slick marketing company that markets all sorts of stuff, including what was the other dodgy thing? The established titles. You know, you can pay $50 and become a lord, a Scottish lord, and things like that. And it seems like their trick is to be really careful what they say. So it's not blatantly fraudulent and it's not blatantly deceptive, but on the surface. But when you start to dig, you realise that it is quite deceptive, that the images that they're giving aren't actually accurate. But they seem to be doing it in a really clever way that probably avoids legal problems in different countries that they're dealing with or they're selling through. So, and it's one of those labyrinth things. So searched, after I looked at their website, I was like, yeah, I smell a rat here. I smell a rat here. It just didn't seem right once you really looked at the small print and read it. I probably only spent, to be honest, looking at their website and doing other research on the internet, I probably didn't even spend any more than about an hour on it, but it didn't take that long. So I know it's interesting to see. I searched Kamikoto knives review, right? And as we've talked about before, there was another company that we talked about before. Oh, it was one of those candy box companies. And when we looked at them, we found out that they were, as usual, when you search review for these things, quite often what you're getting is not really a genuine review. What it really is a bit of affiliate marketing, you know, and that's what we got with these knives as well. We searched Kamikoto knives review, and we got lots of videos and other sort of blurbs on the internet from people, quite often chefs and people like that. Obviously these Kamikoto guys are really, or the people that market this Kamikoto stuff are really good marketers, and obviously they've got onto a lot of chefs and a lot of websites and YouTubers sort of associated with cooking or knives or Japan, and they've obviously got them onto their affiliate program. So what you had was all these different chefs and people around different parts of the internet going on about how wonderful these authentic Japanese knives are, and again, all very carefully worded, the way they worded it, you know, to give you this impression that these were high quality knives made in Japan by Japanese knife makers, and it was all, but when you really got down to it, no, they're not. They're made in China of fairly average steel, apparently, by Chinese people and by a company that is owned by a Chinese dude, it seems. So, but again, lots of those people doing these reviews that were really affiliate marketing, and it's difficult to know whether those people that made those videos and that did that stuff on the internet, those reviews on the internet, genuinely believed that this was a good company that made genuine knives in Japan, or if if they knew that it wasn't genuine. So it's difficult to know, isn't it? You know, if they were tricked, if they were fooled themselves. Because on the surface, there was one in particular, I watched one in particular, this guy seemed genuinely to believe that these knives were the genuine article. He was going on about how great these Japanese knives are, and he did seem to genuinely believe it. So whether he believed it or not, either those people don't do due diligence, and we've talked about this before we talk to you guys about any business on the internet, we always check them out first to find out if they are any good. We'll either try them ourselves or we'll talk to other people who've tried them. In fact, a lot of the different companies we talk about have come to us via other people that we trust, you know, who've said, oh yeah, we do business with these guys are really good. Or we've done business with them ourselves over the years, you know, so we know they're very good. But it would seem that a lot of these people that do these reviews, obviously it's the money thing. You're contacted by a company that says they're selling these high quality Japanese knives, and we offer you an affiliate thing and we offer you money. We get this all the time. The other thing that came up as a result of talking about this was our old video that we can't be bought, which I'll put a link underneath this video about that as well, because, you know, that's our policy on this. We're really, really careful what we talk about and what we endorse, because we don't want it coming back on us. And it seems that there's a lot of people out there on the internet get tempted, because we get it all the time. People sending us stuff and sending us emails and saying, you know, if you endorse our business or talk about our business, we'll send you some money, or we'll send you this, or we'll send you that, you know. And we're really careful, because you just don't know, you know. And these guys are a good example. They're very convincing. So we found reviews that were actually just, you know, affiliate marketing, and then we found some genuine reviews, including some that had been researched really well, way more than the hour that I spent on it, and really found out about it. You know, who owns the business, and this marketing company that you guys would have seen companies like this before. They don't actually produce anything. All they're good at is slick marketing, and they find cheap products that they can market really well, and they make lots of money. It's just like these influencers that you see on the internet, isn't it? A lot of them, you know, it's just about trying to have credibility with their viewers and convince their viewers that whatever they're talking about is worth buying, and they just sell all this stuff. And it seems that this company is really good at that they've got all these different brands that they market around the world, and they're just really good at that. It's the other thing that seems to be suggested quite heavily too is that they might be in the paying for reviews market. So you can do that apparently on Amazon and on all sorts of places where there are reviews. You can actually offer people money to do a review of your company, right? And it seems that they've been doing a bit of that as well, which is why when you look at some review places on the internet, the Kamikoto knife review can be quite positive. And it has been suggested that a lot of those positive reviews are being paid for. There was another one I saw comparing knives. I mean, we live in Japan, and if you look at the knives in our kitchen, they've come from department stores, and you know, in fact, our steak knives came from the 100 yen shops. You know, so for us, a knife is a knife. You know, we don't really think it's justified spending hundreds of dollars on a knife. But, you know, for those who do, you'd want to make sure if you thought you were buying a genuine Japanese knife, you'd want to make sure that it was. And it seems the reviews, you know, people are saying, yeah, it's a sharp knife. Well, you know, so's the one we got from the 100 yen shop. So, you know. But I think the bottom line is whether the knives are any good or not, the general consensus seemed to be that they're made from cheap steel, and that weren't any more special than just a normal knife that you buy from a department store. So whether it's a good knife or not doesn't really matter, does it? The customers deserve to know what they're actually buying, don't they? And if it's marketed as a knife that's made in China, and the customer decides to still want to buy it for a couple of $100, then that's fair enough, isn't it? But if the customer's been convinced that it's a genuine Japanese knife made by genuine Japanese knife makers and all that other stuff, and it's not true, well, that's not right, is it? That's not right. Whether it's a reasonable knife or it isn't doesn't really matter if they're being deceived, does it? So, yeah, that seemed to be it. I mean, it didn't take long. I mean, this is the disappointing thing about these guys that do this affiliate stuff, that that do these fake reviews. Well, you know, they probably don't think it's a fake review, but obviously if they don't do any sort of due diligence at all, I mean, spending 1 hour doing some searches and sort of going through it and having a closer look at it all, didn't, you know, 1 hour of your time isn't an unreasonable expectation before you're going endorsing something, is it? You know, and it seemed to be, I mean, YouTube seemed to be full of videos from people flogging those knives. So they either didn't do any due diligence, or they don't care, or whatever. For whatever reason, they're endorsing something that's obviously not what it claims to be, which is, some people would say, fraudulent. So anyway, our review of Kamikoto knives is, don't touch them. Don't give them any money, because you're not getting what it's being suggested that you're paying for. So our advice would be, don't touch them. We don't recommend them. And any company, anything that's recommended to you by anybody on the internet, you know, like we said with talking about the candy box, those of you who missed that video, it was a similar situation, you know, with these reviews of this candy company that was selling snacks from Japan. And when you really dug into it, you found, what you often find with companies like that is that genuinely like 80% of the customers are happy. And that's what we found with that candy company. 80% of the customers were actually quite happy. And they were saying, oh, it took a while to get here, but you know, we're quite happy with it. So 80% were quite happy, but 20% were really, really unhappy. And I think that's what you tend to find with businesses like this. I mean, if 100% of the customers are unhappy, obviously they're not going to last long, are they? But they tend to work on numbers, companies like this, that if they can sell, you know, these things and 80% of the customers are happy, you know, they'll make money, won't they? But the problem we have with that is that you've got 20%, you've got 1 in 5 customers that are really, really unhappy, you know, and getting ignored and basically did their dough, and they're really unhappy that they've been deceived and so on. So that's our issue with it. So anyway, that's the bottom line. Kamikoto knives, our advice is, don't touch them, stay away from them. Or they might bite you. Anyway, that was that. More videos coming soon.